so much fun leading a really interesting discussion on the changing context of leadership behaviors in this current pandemic at the PurpleBeach Brunch last Friday. And I wanted to share a quick summary of the conversation. Our guests brought both positive and negative examples from organizations, which made the discussion so much more compelling and gave a realistic picture of the good and not so good that the pandemic is leaving in its wake. There was agreement that this has been a particularly demanding time for people professionals on many counts, one being the call to support leaders, sometimes even fix leadership. We had a thought-provoking debate on what the new normal could look like if we started from scratch and designed an appropriate model of leadership. In my article, I had written about the manifestation of trust and how this will act as a key ingredient going forward. In the past 9 weeks, trust has become increasingly relevant as organizations adopt remote working. As companies have overcome infrastructural and mental barriers to adopt remote working, the world has gone from working mostly in a shared environment, where often presenteeism had been confused as the main indicator of productivity, to the work-from-home ethos. The group discussed that while several organizations have promoted flexibility and created the conditions for trust to thrive, there are unfortunately enough examples of organizations actually tracking the time employees spend working. Secondly, we have seen communication by leaders increase exponentially with regular live streams, Ask Me Anything, town halls, etc., all as a means to check in and disseminate information. Leaders have been more honest and transparent, accepting that they often don't have all the answers to questions anxious employees are asking, and instead they've been willing to make sense of it as a team through adult-to-adult conversations. Many leaders have accessed their inner empathy and care to do the right thing and have tuned into what their people most need. There is a genuineness in the question, "Are you okay?" And this has led to better conversations. Communicating with care and compassion takes on even more significance when doing one of the most difficult things, laying off your people. While this is a difficult decision many organizations have been forced to take, the thoughtful and empathetic way Airbnb has handled this has set the bar high in its tone, and more tangibly by the support in not just severance but medical coverage, stocks, employability that it's provided. Participants contrasted this with various other organizations which have received flack for its more impersonal approach, laying staff off via Zoom, often not giving enough notice to their employees. Another change we have seen is leaders working in a more adaptive and agile way, something we've been trying to do for a very long time, creating cross-functional teams of experts and responding to emerging data on a daily basis to make decisions. Participants discussed that while we have seen a greater devolution of decision-making, as leaders who had earlier just not let go, now just didn't have the time to make every decision. We have also seen greater reliance on top-down instructions. It was really interesting to hear such contrasting points of view. Organizational context, of course, has a massive role to play in the experience of employees. Participants gave examples of organizations which have had growing demand due to the crisis, but as a result, the environment has been quite tough for employees as they are being pushed to work relentlessly in order to take advantage of every opportunity presented. We also spoke quite candidly about how long we can actually expect to hold on to the positive behavior change, because there has been plenty of positive shifts. Interestingly, it was found that positive behavior lasted 6 months after 9/11. Jury's still out on how long we could expect to see these leadership behavior changes last, but there is a real opportunity to simplify, connect, and focus on what's really important to the customer.